Let's go back to that official story, the original kidnapping of Paul Fronczak,
Okay.
born April 26, 1964. Room 418, Michael Reese Hospital, Chicago. Stolen, supposedly, at 1:40 p.m. the very next day.
By a woman pretending to be a nurse?
Right. Witnesses described her.
Yeah.
White woman, about 45'5", maybe 145 pounds, darker graying hair, ruddy complexion, noticeably red cheeks, kind of plump. One witness even chillingly said she looked like she hated the world.
That's quite a description. So
Yeah.
that's the official narrative they ran with for decades.
Decades. Until Paul gets his DNA results and realizes he's not that baby. And then years later, after uncovering his real identity as Jack Rosenthal, he gets this anonymous tip,
A tip about the real Paul.
leading him eventually to the doorstep of the man believed to be the real Paul Fronczak. And it's this incredibly tense, almost cinematic moment. He encounters this old man who delivers this absolutely chilling, cryptic line.
What did he say?
He says, "Son, haven't you figured it out already? There was no kidnapping. The boy wasn't kidnapped."
Wait, what? No kidnapping.
That's what the man claimed.
That's astonishing. If that's true, the entire official story, the police investigation, the media frenzy, it was all a fabrication, a cover-up from the start.
It certainly points that way. And unfortunately, this pattern, it isn't unique. We see so many stories, especially coming out of smaller towns or specific institutions, where the official channels don't just fail to find the truth.
They actively hide it.
They actively participate in obscuring it. That anonymous tip Paul got suggests someone knew the official story was wrong, a deliberate manipulation of facts. Think about other cases, like there was that story on Reddit about Austin McGuff, a soldier. His family firmly believed he was killed by some local guys, but they alleged the local police covered it up because of departmental connections to the suspects.
Oh, wow.
Despite weird evidence like a male voice caught on a 911 call saying "tell her" and a nearby nursery that was ransacked, but forensics didn't tie Austin to it at all. It just shows how local power structures connections. They can build these impenetrable walls of silence.
So law enforcement itself becomes part of the cover-up.
It can happen where personal secrets and family deceptions kind of ripple outwards, creating these community-wide silences, or worse, institutional betrayals of public trust.
It's not just one person's lie anymore. It's a whole system, maybe a local power structure, actively working to keep something buried, to protect itself.
Precisely. And this dynamic, it goes beyond just the police sometimes. Think about that deeply disturbing account of a funeral director.
Oh, I think I read about that. Terrible.
Yeah, instead of using the cremation money people entrusted him with, he spent it on drugs, left bodies just in storage, and gave grieving families fake ashes. Just pure betrayal.
Unbelievable.
Or stories, sometimes you hear whispers, about local police officers who were actually the ones committing burglaries in their own town. Then they'd call themselves to the scene and act completely baffled.
That's next level corruption.
It really is. And these aren't just isolated acts by bad individuals, though they are that too. They represent a broader pattern of institutional betrayal. The very people meant to protect and serve become the perpetrators, and that erodes the fundamental trust within a community.
Right. Power structures facilitating secrecy for their own benefit or just to avoid accountability.
Much like the hidden truth, perhaps, behind Paul Fronczak's so-called kidnapping back in '64. If that man was right, the boy wasn't kidnapped. What really happened then?
And this whole journey, uncovering the truth, it clearly comes at a massive cost, not just emotionally, but practically, to relationships.
Absolutely.
For Paul Fronczak, his book talks about how his marriage fell apart. His parents, the Fronczaks who raised him, and his brother, they stopped speaking to him for 2 whole years.
Devastating.
Jobs came and went. That's an enormous sacrifice just to chase these answers, isn't it?
It's a profound, often devastating price to pay. And the psychological studies echo this. They observe that discovering misattributed paternity can seriously complicate one's ability to attach and connect to others in a meaningful way.
Why is that?
Because that foundational trust in your own story, trust in the people closest to you, it gets shattered. It makes forming new, deep connections really difficult.
Yeah, I can see that.
Many participants in these studies expressed this feeling, that everything in their life had changed internally. Their entire self-concept, their past, their future. Yet, outwardly, practically nothing had shifted in their day-to-day reality.
That must be incredibly jarring.
It's a huge dichotomy.
Yeah.
This massive internal upheaval versus this external stillness. It creates this sense of profound loneliness as they try to navigate this new fractured identity.
And yet, despite that immense cost, the driving force behind this relentless search for Paul. For others like him, it seems to be something really fundamental, a basic human need. Paul wrote, "The truth mattered." Why is it such an imperative? Why risk so much?
Yeah, that right to know. The right to know your biological origins is a major recurring theme in all the research.
It's recognized more now, isn't it?
Increasingly so. The study highlighted how legislation, like in the UK, has actually shifted over time to allow donor-conceived individuals access to information about their donors. There's a growing understanding of how essential this knowledge is.
For identity.
For identity formation, absolutely. But also for practical things, like understanding your medical risks based on genetics.
Right, of course.
So for many, finding the truth, despite all the pain it inevitably brings, is critical. It's about incorporating such complex knowledge into their self-concept, as one paper put it, finding a way to make the narrative coherent, even if it's painful.
And that can actually lead to a more positive sense of self in the end.
It can. It allows them to build an identity based on reality, not on secrets or lies. Some participants even found a powerful new sense of purpose through advocacy.
Helping others.
Exactly. Supporting others going through similar discoveries. It's about taking agency back,
Yeah.
taking control of your own story, and maybe helping others write their authentic final chapters too.
So what does this all really mean for us listening to this? This deep dive into Paul Fronczak's incredible, almost unbelievable life, and this broader world of hidden truths. It really shows us that our identities, what we think of as self, it's far more fragile, more layered than we often imagine.
Yeah.
It's definitely a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the drive to know. But wow, also a stark reminder of the long, dark shadow secrets can cast.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a child can live for decades believing a completely false origin story, and entire communities or institutions can hold these dark secrets, defying justice, perpetuating lies through silence, and maybe even official cover-ups.
Yeah.
What truths might be lurking in the shadows of our own lives, just waiting for some subtle crack to appear.
Indeed. The quest for truth, it's rarely simple. Often incredibly painful. It can unravel the very fabric of who we thought we were.
Good.
But, as we've seen today, it can also be the path to a really profound self-discovery, and maybe an unexpected, more authentic sense of belonging in the end.
Which leads to maybe one final question for you to mull over as you go about your day. Think about this. What would you risk to uncover a hidden truth about your own past, even if finding it meant you had to completely rewrite your entire story?